Hello there. My name is Maury and with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys and this is The Real Show with 2 ears. We are continuing our month of May, our May the 4th Star Wars month with this episode. As always, I'm coming with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, it's good to hear you. It's good to see you, in fact. So, we'd like to start this episode off with, if you perhaps indulge me, in a little anecdote.
Okay.
Okay?
Go for it.
I'd like you to picture just last year, 2021, November, Birmingham, the NEC, right? You're there, Corey.
Okay.
It's Comic-Con, right?
Right.
It's MCM Birmingham Comic-Con. And Murray, a year's younger Murray, is there in line to meet one Matthew Wood, right? Senior sound editor, Lucasfilm, also the voice actor behind General Grievous and the Battle Droids, right? Big fan right here, okay? Let's push off to the side the fact that I'm dressed as AEW wrestler Malachi Black, but let's just push that aside. I approach, we shake hands, we say hello. I say it's good to see you. We have a little chat about Star Wars, and he tells me about making Star Wars: The Clone Wars because I pitched to him. I wonder if we can share this clip. Maybe we can. I pitched him about how it's like got a resurgence recently.
Yeah.
Like it was aired on Cartoon Network and a lot of people saw it, and then it was put on Netflix and then Disney Plus now. So loads of new people are finding the Clone Wars and sort of coming to it as a source of great Star Wars media. So if you haven't guessed by now, folks, this episode will be on Star Wars: The Clone Wars, on the first season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the 2008 3D animated show. Right, we're not doing the Gennady Tarkovsky series. We reacted to the first episode of that, didn't we?
We reacted to the first part yet.
First part, yeah. We haven't done the second part.
We
Maybe
have
we'll
not.
do the second part. But that's on our YouTube channel, The Real Show.
It
You
is.
should find it on YouTube and subscribe. So like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. But what we're doing today is the first season of the what's called the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Not
exactly.
just Clone Wars, which is the Gennady Tarkovsky series.
Yes.
So when I was speaking to Matt, I'll call him by his first name basis.
First name basis.
Yeah. When I was speaking to Matthew Wood, he told me that they initially worked on the Gennady Tarkovsky series. He's the senior sound director at Lucasfilm. And then George Lucas wanted to do his own internally produced one. He wanted to do his own one with a new style of animation, a 3D animation, inspired off the Jerry Anderson sort of Thunderbirds, those sort of that puppet style of animated, like Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, Stingray, Terrorhawks, all that kind of thing, all those good Jerry Anderson shows, right? So that's the style he kind of wanted, as opposed to the Gennady Tarkovsky, Samurai Jack kind of style of 2D hand-drawn animation, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he wanted this series to be, something new, something different, something fresh, right? Initially they launched with Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the film, to very, say, mixed reviews, right? People were a bit confused, people didn't like it.
I mean, I remember looking up at one point, this was a bit early on when I was looking for Rex, I remember looking up like bad Star Wars like movies and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's not bad.
It was on that list.
It's not bad. It was meant to be. It was pushed into being a film. Do you know this?
I did
It was
not.
pushed into being a film because initially it was just the first 3 arcs of the show.
Right.
Initially it was just 3 arcs of the show split into. That's why it feels so weirdly disconnected, because it's actually a television show. It's actually 3 arcs of a television show. So it's supposed to be like 6 episodes or something, two an arc, right? But it was forced together into a film.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone was like, "Oh, what's this weird animation?" And why is Jabba Hutt's got a son? And why is weird Ventress and stuff like that?
Don't diss Rot of the Hutt.
The Rot of the Hutt is my favourite Star Wars character. No, but that is.
I'd die for Rot of the Hutt.
But yeah, that's why it was. That's why people had so much pushback.
Yeah.
But this is how it starts right off with the series. So let's just go through the episodes, have a bit of a fun chat about it, and see what we think. Now, were you around? Did you watch this season? Did you watch it in 2008? Were you a kid? Were you enjoying Star Wars?
So
in 2008.
2008 would have been year what? Like what? Year 4? No, 2011 was year 6 / year 7. So
I was 8 years old. I remember.
Yeah, so was I.
Year.
I was at some point in primary school watching the Clone Wars in the morning.
Me too, yeah.
I cannot tell you what season it was.
Cartoon Network, I remember.
Yes.
Cartoon Network, for me it was afternoon, I think, 5 o'clock, I think they'd air a
Oh,
Clone Wars episode.
I definitely remember being in the morning before school in uniform, just sitting there.
Yeah. I remember getting home from school and watching. Like they used to do back to back. They used to air 2 episodes.
Wow.
Back in a double bill. Yeah. On Cartoon Network at 5:00 when I get home from school at 3 or something. 3:20, 3:30. 5:00. Have your tea. Watch the Clone Wars. That was like the dream. That was like the dream for me.
Right, obviously at this point, I mentioned before, you're a Star Wars fan.
Yep, very, very big.
At this point, because when I was watching this, I knew what Star Wars was. And
Well, you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, but like when I was a kid, I'm like, again, like if I was 8, 9 or 10, right?
Right.
At this point, I hadn't seen pretty much any of the movies at this point.
Okay, none of the films.
I also, to be fair, I knew who the characters were. I think I'd seen like maybe Phantom Menace and stuff at this point. But I was just watching it. I didn't even know they were connected. I didn't care what episode was on. I didn't know the episodes were connected. I would just pick a random episode and I'd sit there and enjoy it.
Actually, they're meant to be that.
Yeah.
There is a chronological series, but it jumps.
Yes.
What people don't understand is they weren't made in order.
No.
They were made as to be serials like Star Wars initially was to be.
Yeah, which is why if you look up the order to watch them in, the timeline of the Clone Wars is all over the place.
Season 3 to Season 1 to Season 4, Season 2 to Season 5. I think the only ones that are in order are 6 and 7.
Yes.
And they're the last 2 seasons that have been made.
Yeah.
So the only ones that are in order are 6 and 7. The rest of them are all jumbled. Because I remember over lockdown 2020, I said because Disney Plus had just come out and they had all the Clone Wars and all the Star Wars. And right, I'm going to rewatch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to sit down and watch it end to end. It took me the entire length of lockdown because I literally watched like a couple of nights and there's 130 episodes or something like that. So nearly 200.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to watch, and the film as well.
True.
So I watched it all in order. And it was like I was glad for this last 2 seasons because they just literally run in order. So and that's what you have to watch really. And then that's what I did. And it was long, but it felt very rewarding. At the end, I felt like wow, I've really witnessed this great grand thing. No, but season 1 is where it all started off. I feel like
correct.
And it's rare to watch a season get better. Like, the animation, let's talk about the animation for a bit.
Okay.
The animation in Season 1, if you can remember, a bit janky, not really as good as it can be. They do look a bit like, wet cardboard figures moving around, and like the lightsaber duels are hardly finesse Ray Park, They're a bit, like doing chopping moves, and they're doing chopping moves, and every other line is like even the director of this series, showrunner of this series, Dave Filoni, has admitted that season 1 is where they were very high on the films, where they didn't really find their groove, and they were just quoting the films every 5 minutes, right?
I mean, to be fair, I've got videos up of the animation currently. I didn't mind it.
No,
to be fair,
as a kid you wouldn't.
Yeah, but to be fair, even looking back again to mention the Clone Wars 2003, that animation was awful. It's not bad.
Tarkovsky series.
The animation was good.
Right.
I don't like how some of the characters look.
Right, okay.
Palpatine being one of the main ones.
Yeah. Mace Windu's massive chin.
Yeah. I didn't mind. Even look. I guess it's not bad. It's stylized. Right. It's something. It's not as bad as Rebels, though. That might be a hot take. I'm not the biggest Rebels animation fan.
Okay. Well, no. I feel like the Clone Wars animation style, it improves definitely.
It does.
But season 1 is where I'd say it was at its weakest.
It's not bad enough, though, to make you look at it and go,
It looks a bit like a PS3 cutscene. Yeah. But, it's... But I like PS3 games. So...
I like PS1 games. I'm not going to watch a PS1 cutscene, am I?
No, yeah, true. But... Yeah, and it takes you through the classic Star Wars stories, and every episode, I really like this. Every episode has like a message, right? They preface every episode with the classic crawl, and then there's the Tom Kane animation, the Tom Kane like serial thing. Yeah. Like they basically replace the crawl. The the very Star Wars film, you have the crawl where it tells you what's going on, like war. The dead speak, Palpatine's back, that kind of thing. So. Exactly.
What was it from Phantom Menace? Was it Rogue Trade or something?
No, Rogue Traders. No, it was like, I can't remember. It was something about the Republic, like trade embargo.
That was
I don't know.
Trade embargo.
There's some kind of trade disagreement, right? That was the episode 1 crawl. But instead of that, they replace it with Tom Kane, who is I was about to say Tom Kenny. No, he voices SpongeBob.
He does.
Even though Tom Kenny is in the Clone Wars, he voices a character called Inspector
Is
Devo.
he? But he's in everything.
He is, really.
He's in everything.
But Tom Kenny, who plays Yoda and Admiral Yularen,
Nice.
he's like, you'll know this. He's like, the music starts playing like the da da da, and it's like war on this alien planet with the Separatists are attacking, and it's up to Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker to stop the fighting, that kind of thing.
Again, in preparation for this, I watched like all the like episode 2 or 3, blah, 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 blah. You get the recaps, which is what you're on about now, where essentially it recaps for the last episode. I watched like pretty much all of them for season 1 before this.
Okay,
that was my research.
So, and all the characters you love are back.
Yes.
You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's back. It's
Correct.
James Arnold Taylor who voices him now in basically everything. When it's not Ewan McGregor, it's James Arnold Taylor now. He does it he's got his own YouTube channel, by the way. You want to listen out, where he talks about voice acting and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool, give you some insights. You know, he does some Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's cool. So, yeah, he voices Obi-Wan. He does it in Battlefront, he does it in all the Lego specials, you know, and Skywalker Saga, things like that.
Yeah.
So he's all right. And Matt Lanter now, who plays Anakin, basically plays Anakin in everything, you know, Clone Wars and stuff like that. You know, where it's not Matt Lanter, you know, there's a problem. So, and then with Ashley Eckstein, who was a new character, Ahsoka Tano. We see, this is, I think, where Ahsoka's probably at her worst. She's at a sort of Anakin episode 2 kind of bratty level. It's oh, come on, Sky Guy, I want to fly in the starship.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like that.
That's understandable. To be fair, though, I will say this.
She was meant to be the sort of the teen character.
Yeah,
I guess.
I will say this. Whenever I, which is not often, whenever I look back, because again, Clone Wars, childhood-wise, was one of the main things I used to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever I look back, Ahsoka's one of the only people I remember, other than the obvious like Obi-Wan, Grievous, Yoda, etc., etc.
Yeah.
She's the only one I think of that's like, oh yeah, they're the main person in this.
And Ahsoka now is one of the most loved characters in the franchise. She grew naturally as a character and matured and got more experience and got wiser to the point where that she's now sort of a mix of, she's no longer in the Jedi Order now, as we speak in current canon, and she's off somewhere looking for Ezra. So
nice.
And she's really grown, and she's in made live action now, played by Rosario Dawson in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. So
is the Clone Wars the first time she appears?
Yes.
Right.
She's not appeared. She's a new character. She was initially going to be called like Ayla or Kira or something like that, and she was going to be what was she going to be? There's like concept art of what she was going to look like and things like that. She had a bunch of different species. But it settled on a Togruta, which is what Shark Tea is. So yeah, and there was a lot of sort of debate on what would happen to Ahsoka. You know, George Lucas was in mainly the Ahsoka dies camp, and Dave Filoni was in the Ahsoka lives camp.
Right.
So they had to kind of sort of bit of a power struggle there, but eventually Dave kind of persuaded him to sort of keep Ahsoka out of the mainline series by the fact she's doing something else.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
retroactively, what they call a little retcon. But we have Ashley Eckstein, who does great. I'm a big fan of Ashley Eckstein. I have Star Wars like history, kind of like a Star Wars like visual dictionary, history of Star Wars kind of thing, and it's got a foreword by her, and it's really, really beautifully written.
See, I had something like that, and I can't remember what it was. It's why I know Rot of a Hutt's name, because he's in it. He's in it. It's like my little like encyclopedia. And he's
and then we have Catherine Tabor, who voices Padme Amidala.
Yep.
She's back in this episode. She gets an arc, and then we have Matthew Wood, obviously, who I mentioned, who voices the Battle Droids and Grievous, one of the stars of the season. Corey Burton, as well, quite an eminent voice actor. He actually does, most of the rides at Disney World.
Yeah.
Well, that's Corey Burton. It was like, welcome to the Magic Planet, or whatever it's called. That's
I've actually been to a Disney
Corey
World.
Burton. So he does also because Count Dooku.
Nice.
You won't get away this time, Dooku. He does the Count Dooku. So and a nice little fact actually, Christopher Lee, Sir Christopher Lee, voices Count Dooku in the film. He's in the first lots of episodes in the film.
Yep.
And they wanted to bring him back to do the show, but they hired Corey Burton to do his voice, and they showed Christopher Lee his voice and said, "What do you think? Do you want to do it over?" And Christopher Lee said, "No, you have all you need. This guy will do great." So
to be fair,
seal of approval.
When it comes to the Clone Wars, and when it comes to voices particularly, most of the time, the voices in this are very good.
Yes.
Even if it's not the people who
Voice
you would
acting
normally
is stellar.
associate.
Well, they use their own, they take their own performance. I
Yeah.
feel like, and it has the essence of the character.
I mean, because it would have been very easy to go, right, okay, we have Obi-Wan, get Ewan McGregor back. We have, Anakin. Get everyone back who does it normally.
I feel like Matt Lanter sort of added his own flair to the character. He's much more charismatic.
This is what I mean.
If it was episode 2 Anakin, the show would be insufferable.
Yes.
But the fact that it's sort of closer to episode 3 Anakin,
Yeah.
and he's in the war now, and he's matured. He's a lot more, charismatic, sort of suave kind of episode 3. This is where the fun begins, kind of Anakin, and I like that.
I mean, it's one of those things though where if it's done well, which they did, it's great. However, it could have also gone really bad.
Yeah, true. It was a very fine line, and the amount of documentation and behind the scenes stuff for this show is tremendous. There's loads of great featurettes and great documentaries about how this show was made and the art style and things that they took and how the different episodes kind of shaped. Like when I was speaking to Matthew Wood at Comic-Con, he said that they didn't know, they made the first season completely on their own. Like they had no idea how it would be received by people. They were just praying and hoping that people would think it was good, because they had no idea what people would think. And he worked on it for like a year, and he never had to. He couldn't tell anyone what they were doing. Like people had asked like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I can't tell." He could never tell anyone that he was working on a new Star Wars project. So
the thing I like about the Clone Wars, and kind of looking back, obviously again we've mentioned you had obviously in the 70s you had the original 3, 1999 onwards you had the prequels.
Yeah.
And then you had this, and this is like, essentially, obviously, it kind of paves the way for things like Bad Batch and stuff like that, which is obviously a successor to Clone Wars. But also, this is like essentially the first main thing that was not a major film.
No, it was between episodes 2 and 3, the Clone Wars, and the 3 years of the Clone Wars conflict in the galaxy.
And this is one, the first main thing that kind of goes, okay, we're not going to make another feature-length 2-hour, 3-hour film. We're going to do a TV show, make it episodic, and it's going to show other people.
They're really bite-sized. I love the serial. Star Wars was always based on Flash Gordon and things like that.
Yeah.
These serial episodes. And you mentioned you could just sit down and watch one, and you'd be fine. Sure, there might be an arc with 2 or 3 episodes, right? I think there's like a 4-episode arc in the later season or something.
Yeah.
But you could literally just sit down and watch any, and you'll be placed straight into the action. And you're told everything you need to know. And I feel that's amazing. And in 22 minutes, it's really amazing. I'm in awe of how they can create these stories. And also, George Lucas I think he was on Conan or something like that, or some American talk show talking about this show, and he's pitched it as not being like a kiddie animated. It's not a cartoon.
No.
He said it's not a kiddie animated cartoon. It can be for adults as well. It can have that sort of emotional tone to it. And the first season is a bit like that, but it's also a bit for young kids as well, like Star Wars has always been. I think it's been able to reach all ages initially, and it doesn't treat you like an idiot. That's what I feel like this show does well. It does Star Wars really well. It does the serial aspect of Star Wars really well, but it doesn't treat you like you're an idiot.
No. I mean, one of my favourite things about Clone Wars, and this is the only time I kind of ever go back to Clone Wars. I'm not a big binger.
Right.
So, but
I am a big binger.
Exactly. One of the things I like about Clone Wars is you could take someone, like for example, I can't remember when it was, probably about a year ago, I recommended the Darth Maul arc because I like Darth Maul and he has a great arc in this. You could essentially, you find a character you like, whether it's Darth Maul, whether it's anyone else, and you can go, oh, they've got a nice 3-episode arc. And you can just watch 3 episodes and that's it. Done.
Corey, do you like Plo Koon?
Which one's Plo Koon again?
The guy, the Jedi, he's got like a black goggles and like a sort of mandible sort of mask. He's got a big orange head. Look him up.
If only I could Google something.
Google him, Plo Koon.
If only it was an option. Plo Koon, there he is.
Jedi Master Plo Koon.
Oh, him, yes.
Remember that guy?
Yes, Phantom Menace, Jedi Council. Yes, that guy.
That's him. He's in the Clone Wars. He's one of Dave Filoni knows who Plo Koon is. Because Dave Filoni loves him.
His name base, no. Again, he's one of the ones that from Clone Wars, his face I recognise.
He loves him and he loves Sassy Tin as well.
Because,
Dave Filoni likes Sassy Tin as well.
To be fair, I was going to mention that from Phantom Menace. I was going to point out the fact that I know him more from Clone Wars than Phantom Menace. I was going to mention, it's the guy from Clone Wars, even though Clone Wars is after.
Because Plo Koon's in Phantom Menace. He just says nothing, sits in the council chair and just, but you recognise him.
Yes.
So, which I like. The Clone Wars, literally, it boosts on like Kit Fisto.
I was about to mention Kit Fisto.
Right? the amount of time in the Clone Wars they gave to Kit Fisto is unreal, to the point where people really like Kit Fisto now.
Well, exactly. Why wouldn't you give him time?
Exactly. Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Aayla Secura, right?
Yeah.
All these characters that are in the background of the Clone Wars of Episode 2 and 3 are given so much time now. Like Saci Tin as well.
Yeah.
He's in the background, not much, killed by Palpatine in his sort of office battle, and that's it, basically.
I mean, again, I think this is why it's such a good thing that they didn't just stick with one of the main films. Because also, obviously, as much as we mentioned Kit Fisto, as much as we mentioned Ahsoka, as much as we mentioned Plo Koon, I feel like, not for me, because again, favourite new character from this is probably Kit Fisto, favourite character in Clone Wars is probably Darth Maul, but if we're talking new characters and who's had a massive impact, you've got to have like Captain Rex and the whole clones that get an actual personality.
The clones
in this.
of the Clone Wars, like people didn't know in Episode 2, the clones were just they were plot convenience.
Yeah.
They were arrived to save the day on Geonosis, and they weren't given much character apart from just being soldiers that sort of blindly follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders.
Yes.
But what happened, especially, and let's give credit to the guy himself, Dee Bradley Baker. My goodness. He puts out such a performance, enough to make the clone troopers feel unique.
Yes.
And really put some life into them and some soul into them.
I mean, when you have a literal character who is being cloned, and essentially most of them tend to have the same face, black hair, short hair. Very little distinctive actual facial feature difference. You have to have a very good voice actor.
And he's amazing.
Exactly.
If you don't know Phineas and Ferb, he's Brother Platypus. He literally plays, if you watch Peacemaker, the series with John Cena. Yeah, he's the eagle.
Yeah.
He voices Eagly, which I feel like is weird. He voices these animals, and he's also the voice of the entire clone army in the Clone Wars. Right? And there's such an amazing video, I wish I could be able to find it, where he goes through all the different voices of clones he does, but they're the same voice. He has like the usual regular clone, and that's Captain Rex's voice.
Yes.
And then he has the more tougher clone, who's more of an army guy, and then he has the lighter clone. He's a bit newer. He's a bit new on the scene, He goes through all these different clones, and they're the same voice, but there's different variations. To the point where you can have different types of clone, right? And I feel like that's amazing. And they do style them up. Like some of them have like a bob cut. Some of them have like a bit of a mullet at the back. Some of them have a bald, have no hair. Some like Rex has like blonde hair. Cody has like the crew cut.
The thing about the clones as well, and I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, so I can this is the only thing I can remember was happening, right? It's only one time I can remember it's happening.
Right, okay, can I tell you this quote beforehand?
Yeah.
You are a Star Wars fan, it's just that you've got more knowledge than a layman would have.
Yeah.
But you don't have enough knowledge to be considered
right,
by regular Star Wars fans. You're in that grey area, I feel like.
And thanks to Star Wars Mom, I keep picking up random stuff.
Okay,
I discovered yesterday that I now just have the name Kuat Driveways embedded in my head.
Kuat Drive Yards.
Yeah. But no, Captain Rex is one of the only times where instead of having a background character from Phantom Menace, and then they appear, or other films, and then they appear in the Clone Wars, where instead you had Captain Rex, who seemingly was new, and then now it's like, actually, no, he wasn't live action. He's this guy with a beard.
Yeah,
it's now the opposite.
He's Nick Sant in Episode 6.
Everyone's now like, no, that's Rex. He's so good in Clone Wars. We're gonna put him in live action, even if it wasn't intentional. There he is now. That's who he is.
That's Rex.
We're gonna give him a beard at the end.
I feel
so
like
now you know it's
Rex
him.
Rex is one of those characters that really taken off. Like he's in Bad Batch,
Yes.
And he's one of those famous original characters made from the Clone Wars. Him and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
The fact that him and Ahsoka start the season together and end the series together is amazing. And even in the first episode, right, we're talking about the clones, right? How they give them personalities. In the first episode, Ambush, with Yoda when they're stuck on the Rishi moon. Not on the Rishi moon, on the Toydarian moon.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Rishi moon is another episode. When they're stuck on the Rishi moon and the Toydarian moon, and I said it again. When they're stuck on the moon of Toydaria, and Sarge Ventress and her droids are after him. Yoda has this really tender moment in the cave where he teaches the clones how to use their brains and think individually, and how to use different things to sort of outwit the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, you have compassion, you will never give up in the fight, that kind of thing. And what's kind of tragic about that is one of the clones that he speaks to is a guy called Lieutenant Thire, who's part of the shock troopers there, the Coruscant Guard, right? And in Episode 3, Lieutenant Thire is one of the shock troopers that ends up trying to hunt down Yoda when ordered to by Palpatine for after Order 66 is executed. So here we have A great start to the series with Yoda as well, voiced by Tom Kane. Then the Malevolence in season 1, remember?
Yeah.
The Malevolence shows up. We get that. There's a 3-episode arc, and then we have the episode Rookies, which is amazing.
You see, that's what makes me think I must have watched season 1 because Malevolence was on my like top capital ship, and I'm thinking it must be because of Clone Wars.
Yeah, of course it shows up in Clone Wars. Then we have the downfall. We have the droid arc with R2D2.
Yes.
Where we have downfall of the droid and duel of the droid, where R2D2 faces his evil droid rival R3S6,
wow.
Goldie,
yeah,
the little pest. You know, he's going around causing trouble. So then we have Bombad Jedi with Jar Jar Binks showing up. Jar Jar Binks and Newt Gunray. We like having a Newt Gunray.
Yeah.
Only turns up in season 1.
Yeah.
Newt Gunray does not turn up in season of the Clone Wars apart from season 1. I think he might be like a hologram in another season or something like that. But he turns up. Yeah, he is. He's a hologram in season 2, I think. But in season 1, he turns up. So Padme and Jar Jar get a couple of episodes. Luminara Unduli. You know Luminara Unduli? She's got like a hex thing on her head, and she's another Jedi that turns up. So she's in the background of episode 2, I think. In episode 3, she's killed on Kashyyyk. Luminara Unduli. She gets a couple of episodes.
You see, again, I know her from Clone Wars, not from live action.
Yeah, but she is in live action. So there you go.
I look at the live action design. I go, I don't know who that is. I look at Clone Wars. I'm like, yes,
it's them. So Kit Fisto appears in episode 10.
He does.
Lara Grievous, which is probably my favorite episode of the season.
He does.
So then we get Dooku captured with the favorite new character, Hondo Ohnaka. Do you know Hondo Ohnaka?
I do not. Should I know Hondo Ohnaka?
You will recognise Hondo Ohnaka when you see him.
Hondo Ohnaka.
Legendary pirate.
Oh. Okay.
It's me, Hondo Ohnaka,
Okay.
the greatest weak-way pirate in the galaxy. You know, voiced by Jim Cummings, who also voices Winnie the Pooh. So Corey's cracked up laughing at that. So there you go.
I did not know that. That's two polar opposites. But I would not. Why is okay?
Voice acting, man, it's a great thing.
I've also just found a picture. I don't know what this is from. It's probably Clone Wars of Hondo Ohnaka, which has a I don't know what it's called. Essentially, he's got what looks like it's not a parrot, but I think it's supposed to mimic a parrot.
It's a Kowakian monkey lizard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's to make him look like a pirate.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's got he wears like a big red coat. Yeah. He's got like a pirate coat and the hat and like the goggles and stuff. And he's got like a Kowakian monkey lizard. You know that Kowakian monkey? Is it the red one or the blue one?
Red.
Red. You know what it's called? He's called Pilf Mukmuk. That's what his name is.
Right,
you look up Pilf Mukmuk.
I've come to a conclusion. Right, I am actually a Star Wars fan. The issue is the other Star Wars fans just know too much.
Yeah, there we go. Pilf Mukmuk. Pilf Mukmuk, the Kowakian monkey lizard.
Every other actual Star Wars fan just knows too much.
Pilf Mukmuk. There's your name for the day. There's your Star Wars name for the day.
Is that real?
He's also got a brother called Pick Mukmuk, who's the blue one.
Really creative with the names. We have a new game with that name. Really creative.
Pick Mukmuk and Pilf Mukmuk.
See, I type in Pick Mukmuk and I get nothing. How's this? Is it P-I-K or C-K?
No, it's P-I-K-K.
Oh, it's double K.
Yeah.
That's where I was going wrong.
Pilf Mukmuk. So, and they're the Kowakian monkey lizards of Hondo Ohnaka, the greatest Clone Wars character. I think next, he's another original character that's great. He lasts the entire length of the Clone Wars. He lasts the entire length of Star Wars. He lasts the entire Civil War. And he's basically alive at the end, basically.
Fair enough.
So for some reason, Hondo survives the entire thing. So.
But he's never seen, never again.
Well, that's I guess not.
Maybe if we get after sequel stuff, maybe he'll appear.
Ayla Secura, Hondo is there in there. You get Christophsis and things like the Crystal Planet. So. Yeah. Dr. Nuvo Vindi. What would happen is they couldn't defeat Grievous and Ventress every episode or Dooku, because that'd be like the 3 villains for the entire season. Yeah. So they invent unique separatist villains every episode, or new things like Hondo, like pirates and things like that.
Yeah.
So they invent they invent the T-series tactical droid. Basically, give a tactical droid a new color, new scheme of paint, and a new voice, and you've got a villain for an episode. Or they invent unique separatist villains like Dr. Nuvo Vindi and the Blue Shadow Virus.
Nice.
He goes, yes, the Blue Shadow Virus. That's exactly how he sounds. And he's like this mad scientist who's created this underground on Naboo even underground on Naboo. He's created this virus he's going to unleash. So, and they have to go to Iego to find this mystery root that can cure the virus, right?
I do not know who that is.
Well, you better be ready, Corey, because for the last arc of the season, it's Storm over Ryloth, and it's your friend Wat Tambor has sieged the planet of Ryloth with his separatist blockade, and it's up to Ahsoka and Mace Windu and Obi-Wan and Anakin, the whole team from the season, to come together and defeat Wat Tambor and the Techno Union.
Great.
The Techno Union Army. And what's better is, Wat Tambor is voiced by Matt Wood.
Nice.
So there you go.
Arguably his better character.
Yeah. Everyone loves Wat. If you don't love Wat Tambor, what are you doing?
I wonder how often he gets people come up to him.
Do Wat Tambor.
Yeah. Over Grievous.
Over Grievous, exactly. So, and then we also get Separatist villain Martuk, who is cool as well. You get loads of Nemoidians, different Nemoidians. You get Newt Gunray, you get Martuk, you get Lock Dodd. You like Lock Dodd?
Oh my God.
Corey's he's just googling away on the other side.
I am.
He's just
I don't know
typing names
who
in.
any of these people are.
That's what you get in Clone Wars. You just get loads of new exciting people.
You do, and for them, to be fair, for the most part, we're done all right.
You're looking at the designs, aren't you? Looking at the designs of them, aren't you?
Yes.
So, yeah, we get you get Wat Tambor, of course. You get Wat Tambor, and also in the last steps of the season, the finale, Hostage Crisis. We get not only do we get Zero the Hutt, right? Jabba's cousin, Zero the Hutt. We also get the introduction of Cad Bane.
Yes.
That's right. Cad Bane, based on Clint Eastwood's character in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
Spacefaring, bounty hunting, cowboy, blue man, Duros.
You see,
Cad Bane.
I know Zero the Hutt.
He's got his hat on, big.
I know Zero the Hutt.
You know Cad Bane.
I do know Cad Bane because one appeared in. He's in Bad Batch, isn't he?
Yes, in Bad Batch.
And he's in Book of Boba Fett. He's a guy that dies and then comes back again.
Yeah, he's always alive. No matter what, you can't keep Cad Bane down. He's always up. Well, we thought that he died in Clone Wars in like what would have been season 8.
Yeah.
But then initially we just all right, okay, whatever. And then he turns up in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Was, oh, okay. And then he turns up in Book of Boba Fett as well. So yeah, Hostage Crisis is a great finale. Really, it's like a bad guys episode. It's like a villains episode.
Yeah.
Because we get the perspective from them, and then Aura Singh as well. Robinino. Do you know Robinino? Robinino. He's a little fish guy.
There he is. Yeah, weirdly.
Do you recognise Robinino?
Kind of.
Yeah, he's mainly in do you remember the Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars game?
Yes.
There's a mission at the end, I think, where you play this episode where you do Hostage Crisis, where these group of bounty hunters kind of hold the Senate hostage by kidnapping loads of senators. So, and in episode you can play as Robinino, and he's got like grenades, and he's got like the technical thing you can do. So, yeah, it's Robinino. So
I'm glad that I'm able to actually type out his names and spell it somewhat correctly.
He's got an eye patch, you know.
Great.
And then we get the introduction of the familiar characters as well. There's new characters. There's again we get Dooku and Ventress. And then we get Grievous, who also has more action to do.
He does, because that's my one gripe with Grievous in the films is he's not threatening enough.
Not threatening enough. He's threatening in this. He commands the big battleship. He's shooting down fleets and he's killing Jedi. So we get more of Grievous action as well. So we get a lot of Grievous action. I feel like that's what we need. We need to see the battles of the Clone Wars, and we see it as well. But we see different like perspectives. The 15th episode, Trespass, is about the Pantorans try to seize this planet called Autoplutonia, one of their moons, and realise that it's habited by a species called the Tals. You'll recognise the Tals if you look them up. That's Talz. Because one of them is in the cantina in Mos Eisley. And then...
Oh.
You know the Tals? They live on Autoplutonia.
I recognise them.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's horrifying. That's a live action movie.
Is that the live action? Yeah, the live action Tals.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
The animation makes them much more appealing, I feel like.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crossing a border between Spider and it's a bit.
Yeah. The animation Tals look much more appealing than the live action Tals do.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, I think I had the actual Clone Wars Encyclopedia. I think it was specifically a Clone Wars Encyclopedia.
Oh right, okay. Did you have a Tals in there?
Maybe. I wonder if I can find the specific one I had.
They appear in season 1. I had loads of.
Aha! Star Wars for Clone Wars Character Encyclopedia.
Nice.
That's what I had. And Cad Bane's on the front.
Of course he is.
And
Cad Bane.
I
Or a Sing.
assume that is Django.
Is it?
It is a.
Oh, is it a Death Watch Mandalorian?
Maybe it's a Django
Mandalorian.
Fett / Boba Fett looking guy.
Mandalorian. Is he Pre-Vizsla?
What?
I can't see what you're looking at on your
Blue.
side.
It's blue. Got a yellow logo on
Oh,
his
it's
helmet.
Pre-Vizsla. It's Pre-Vizsla. Okay. Voiced by Jon Favreau, actually. But he's in season 2, not season 1.
There you
So.
go. Yeah, I had Visible. This is where most of my Clone Wars knowledge comes from.
Right, okay, nice.
To the point where I'm now scrolling through pictures, and there's always characters I forgot existed that are now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There's Hondo Onaka.
Yes, Hondo Onaka. It is me, Hondo Onaka. He always comes back as well. He always comes back to do another scheme. He's doing some kind of scheme. Because I remember this that they kidnapped Count Dooku. I feel like Count Dooku and Obi-Wan and Anakin are doing the duel. You know, you won't get away this time. We're all cool. So they have a brawl on Dooku's ship, and they crash on the planet, and they have to fight these Gundarks, these big creatures. You know the Gundark.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to fight the Gundark, and then they escape out the cave. But Dooku gets kidnapped by Hondo Onaka and his gang. So taken back to Florum, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan have to go. But then they get captured as well, and Hondo's holding all 3 of them. So then you know what? When Palpatine needs a situation resolved, who does he send in? He sends in Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
No, probably there's a theory that Palpatine solves all his sort of political disputes with Jar Jar Binks, knowing that Jar Jar's going to mess it up.
Yeah.
And that he's going to somehow create some chaotic situation in which everything will come out roses.
Pretty much. I mean, it works.
It does, yeah.
Also, here's a fun fact: test your Star Wars knowledge.
Okay, test away.
How tall is Hondo Onaka?
How tall is Hondo?
It says it in the Star Wars Encyclopedia.
Right, okay. Oh, goodness. Feet or meters?
Both. I
Right.
was fine.
Okay. How tall do I think Hondo is?
Yeah.
I don't even... The thing that, right, you know that theory where they say everyone in Star Wars is like 100 feet tall?
Yeah.
Because we don't know how big they are.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't know how big the galaxy is. So we don't know how big people in Star Wars are relative to us. I imagine it's in meters.
I've got it in meters and it says it in feet next to it.
Right, okay. How tall is Hondo?
Yeah.
I'm not looking at anything. My screen is completely clear. I'll keep my hands away. How tall do I think Hondo is? He's not... I don't think he's 6. I don't think he's over 6 foot.
Okay.
I'm going to say he's about 5'11".
6'1".
Oh, dang.
6'1".
Okay, he's tall.
He is tall.
Well, there you go for a weak weight. That's how tall Hondo Onaka is. Imagine if I got that. Well, no, because I think Plo Koon is taller than him. I think there's a scene where he stands next to Plo Koon in season 3.
I can find out.
All right, how tall is Plo Koon?
Because I can probably type in Encyclopedia and Plo Koon. Also, Kit
Okay.
Fisto's in here as well.
How tall's Kit Fisto?
6'5".
Wow, everyone's really tall in the Star Wars universe.
They are.
I know Grievous is like 7 foot something, isn't he?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Grievous is like 7-8 foot tall.
Plo Koon, height.
I bet Plo Koon's taller than 6'1".
He must be. He seems like a guy. I've only seen him sitting down in a live
Yeah.
action, but he seems like a guy who's tall.
He seems like a guy who'd be tall.
6'2".
Yeah, he's tall. I knew he's taller than Hondo. How tall's Grievous again? I bet he's like 8 foot something, isn't he?
General Grievous.
General Kenobi.
Height.
Hello there.
Feet. General Grievous is 7'1".
Yeah, thought so. Yeah, Matt would even mention that to me when we were talking. He said that there's a scene in the Malevolence where Obi-Wan goes to the hyperdrive and the Malevolent try and shoot it down.
Yeah.
He gets ambushed by droids, and then Grievous jumps down and he goes, "Hello there." He says hello there to Obi-Wan. So they do the reverse. And I told him that there's compilations on YouTube
Nice.
of whenever everyone says hello there in Star Wars, and it always starts with that clip because that's the first time it was canonically said by someone. So yeah, there's great episodes in here. There's the Malevolence Arc is amazing. We know Rookies. Rookies is great. Remember
Yeah.
Rookies with the commando droids?
Yeah.
Or they're on the Rishi Moon. They are on the Rishi Moon, trying to defend Kamino and the outpost. And then Rex and Cody arrive. And Rex was initially, a little fact about Rex, he was initially meant to be a clone from the Genndy Tartakovsky series called Alpha.
Oh, okay.
And they changed his name because they were concerned too many people's names started with an A. Like Anakin, Ahsoka, Alpha. They were concerned there were too many A names, so they changed
That's
it to
fair.
Rex.
That's
So
fair.
there you go. And Cody wasn't... You think that Cody isn't featured much in the series? It's because apparently Dave Filoni didn't want to include Cody that much because Cody follows Order 66.
I mean,
which is weird. Well, that's why Commander Bly is only in only in one episode.
Yeah,
Ayla
but then-
Secura's Clone Commander Bly is only in one episode of the entire series. It's in season 1.
I get that, but then also, wouldn't you want them in it because of that?
Because Commander
because then
Bly
it-
does follow order.
Because
Well,
then it'd be more of a twist at the end.
well, this is because they didn't invent the chips thing yet.
No, but
So we
Chips
didn't
was
really-
yeah.
The chips was in season 5.
Yeah.
So they didn't really explain that yet. We don't know whether they'd mapped it out already, but we didn't know how many, why they did that.
What is your opinion on the whole kind of like? Originally, it wasn't Chips, and they just betrayed it.
Originally, everyone thought the clones were just evil the whole time.
And then they're like,
Following the Emperor
we need to change that.
whole time.
It's Chips.
Because of the Clone Wars, to make it like
Yeah.
the clones actually did want to fight for the Republic and actually thought they were doing good, but it was the chips that made them inherently, succumb to Order 66, which was to kill all Jedi, because Jedi were deemed an enemy of the Republic and enemy of the Senate. So I feel like it was a retroactive choice,
Yes.
but it makes it better in hindsight.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because why would the clones be shooting their own?
And they'd fought with for 3 years,
Yeah.
But we didn't know this in season 1.
No.
And probably neither did they.
No.
So they just assumed that we should include Rex because Rex, isn't in episode 3, so wouldn't follow or would somehow either be dead or wouldn't follow. But we know that Rex was alive and lives until episode 6. So. But then, obviously, they were hesitant to include Cody because Cody does follow Order 66, as does Commander Bly. So I wish we kind of knew the chips beforehand so we could see more of them.
Yeah, because it would definitely be a more because if you get attached to a character to then find out that they turn evil and it's not even their fault.
That's why Commander Bakara, the guy that leads the Galactic Marines, in that scene where they all gun down Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's not in this series.
Yeah,
there's a guy called Commander Jet who they create instead as a new character. So. That's probably why. And also it's again, as we say, we get Kit Fisto and things like that, and his Jedi Padawan Nadar Veb. You know Nadar Veb?
I do. He's a Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamari, that's right. How tall's he?
What? How tall is he?
Veb. I bet he's short. I bet he's not at all because Kit Fisto's taller than him. And so
how do you spell his name?
Nadar Veb. Nahdarvebbb.
Right. 2 seconds. Typey.
Nadar Veb.
Nadar Veb. Where is he?
Yes, congratulations on passing the trials. That's what Kit Fisto says. He goes, you were a Mistmaster, but now it's time to finally sail you beside you as a knight.
There. Okay, that's the spelling of it. There it is.
Okay, how tall is he? I bet he's like 5'9".
5'9". Height.
I don't know how tall Nadar Veb is.
So, do you not know the
gets
height of
killed
the?
by Grievous.
He does. You don't know the height of the average Mon
Grievous
Calamari.
brings down his sabers on him, and he's trying to block, and then Grievous detaches an extra arm and just guns him through the chest. Not as tall as Kit Fisto. Right, how tall is Kit Fisto?
It was
Kit
6'5".
Fisto would be massive. Kit Fisto, alright, Kit Fisto's 6'5". That makes sense.
He was 6'5".
He's the same height as Hondo. People in Star Wars are tall.
Yeah, they are.
How tall is Jango Fett? Do you mind? How tall is Jango Fett? Because that's how tall the clones should be.
I was going to say, Jango Fett, height, feet.
How tall is Jango Fett?
6 foot.
Really? That
Rex
surprises me.
Rex in the book was also 6 foot.
Right, okay,
so
okay,
seems
that makes
correct.
right, okay, that makes sense. For an adult clone, 6 feet is okay.
Wow.
So there we go. We're learning about Star Wars height.
Yeah,
Everyone's no one is under 5'9" in the Star Wars universe, apparently.
No, the only one.
Robinino probably is.
He was 4'6". I found him already.
Just Robinino.
Yeah.
Robinino is probably under 6 foot, and that's it. So R2D2,
Yeah.
the droids. But yeah, speaking of, we got R2D2 C3PO. Anthony Daniels is back in this as well.
Yeah.
So we do get some of the existing cast do return, and it's a tremendous job by Dave Filoni and all the showrunners. Everyone that comes in. Henry Gilroy, great series writer.
Yeah.
George Lucas as well, who worked on the first season, who always signed off on everything. George Lucas and even his kids. Katie Lucas is involved in the series as well. So Daniel Arkin and Kevin Campbell as well, real great series writers. So who get involved in all this. So and we knock it and we have fun with it.
Yeah.
But we really both enjoy this show.
It's really good.
But as far as season 1 of the Clone Wars goes, Corey, do you have a Star Wars themed weekly rec?
I do have a Star Wars themed weekly rec. If
What
I could
is
get
that?
my words out.
Get them out there.
So You mentioned Tom Kane.
Yes.
Which does like to connect to Tom Kane. Not intentionally, but it does. Tom Kane is in this. Now, my recommendation, I said to you before the show, I was supposed to watch more of the Clone Wars and get a bigger knowledge, and I did not do that because the whole of yesterday I spent playing Star Wars Racer Revenge.
What?
Are you aware of
Racer Revenge?
Yes. So,
okay.
1999, right? Phantom Menace has come out.
Okay.
So how did Star Wars capitalize on Phantom Menace? For the PS1, they release, N64, they release Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Oh, it's Pod Racer. Okay.
Which is a pod racing game, right? Mm. It's a massive hit. I haven't played it. I just found out you can buy it on PS4.
Right.
However, a couple of years later...
How did you end up playing this?
I'll explain. Okay. A couple of years later, 2002, they then released Star Wars Racer Revenge, which is a sequel and has a story, and I believe was canon until Disney brought it out.
Right, okay.
It's on PS Now and PS4. I have PS Now, so I played it.
Okay, right.
Essentially, 8 years after Anakin has won against Sebulba, this takes place, Sebulba disappears, gets mad, and comes back for revenge.
Oh, right. Oh, no.
Meanwhile, by the way, Anakin is still racing in pods.
Well, he's a Jedi.
So he's Hayden Christian looking Anakin, not voiced by Hayden Christian, by the way. And he's got his own modern pod racer.
Right.
And he's still racing. And everyone you expect is still here. Ben Quadraneros. He's in this. Everyone you expect is here. It's a pod racing game. And I spent all day yesterday playing it and not watching Clone Wars because I got addicted to it.
Okay.
Is
it fun? You must have a good time.
It's really good fun. Essentially, you do a nice little tournament. So you start off as any of the characters. I am a... Who's my main? Where's his name? I forgot his name.
Here we go. If you'll allow me, I found the crawl of this.
Yeah, there you go. Go on, give it a go.
It's been 8 years since Sebulba, Galactic Pod Racing's most notorious champion, met his downfall at the hands of a young Anakin Skywalker. Humiliated by his legendary Boota Eve defeat, Sebulba eventually disappeared from the pod racing circuit. Meanwhile, pod racing's underground allure has continued to spread. The vehicles are bigger and faster, and the pilots more aggressive. Now, at the opening of a new galactic pod racing season, there is an unexpected challenger on the horizon. Emerging from seclusion with a dangerous new pod racer, a crew of sadistic henchmen, and a murderous vendetta, Sebulba at last has Anakin in his sights, and he is bent on revenge.
Yes.
Sebulba's revenge.
Yes. That's the whole plot, and it's great. I main Team Topagalis. That's my main.
Of course you do.
And you just do a little tournament. And there's like 3 planets. So like Mon Calamari is one of them.
Right.
And you do his races, and it's like the same planet, but
Odi Mandrel.
Yep. But every course is different. And then the final race is the one you expect. It's Tatooine. It's for Boonta Eve Classic, and it's really good fun. It's a bit because it's fast and because it's quick. Sometimes you hit a wall and you stop and your momentum goes. Thankfully, you can catch up quickly. It takes time to get used to the maps, but it's really good and it's really close.
Watto.
You unlock Watto.
No,
yes.
Yes, nice. Ben Quadraneros.
Watto's unlockable.
Okay.
Young Anakin is unlockable, which, by the way, is voiced by the person who plays young Anakin.
Jake Lloyd?
Yep.
Nice.
Sebulba is unlockable, and Episode 1 Sebulba is in it.
Okay.
Darth Vader's in it.
Voiced by Lewis McLeod, who did voice Sebulba in Episode 1.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Vader's
Same
in
guy. Darth Vader?
Yeah, and his pod racer is his ship.
What, the TIE?
Yeah.
The TIE?
Yeah.
TIE Advanced?
Yeah.
He goes around in the TIE Advanced?
Yeah.
Oh.
Darth Maul's in it as well.
Darth Maul?
Yeah, and he's got his ship as well.
The scimitar or his speeder bike?
I think it's his speeder bike.
Right, okay. We'll just check that.
That's what I'm doing now.
What's his speeder bike called? Oh, I should find that. I don't really know.
No, it's his scimitar.
Oh, it's his ship?
It's in his scimitar, I think.
That's quite a large ship.
Yeah, but it's like shrunken down.
Oh. There you go. That's called the Bloodfin. That's what his speeder bike's called. It's an FC20 speeder bike.
Yeah. Racer's Revenge Darth Maul. Yeah.
It's a scimitar.
Yeah.
Oh. The cooler would have been the Bloodfin.
He's in that. It's
full. It looks like a fuller cast of
really good.
Fun
really
stuff.
Good.
What would you rate it?
Solid 8.5 out of 10.
No, wow, big score.
It's very big numbers.
So
very good.
That is, I think that's the probably one of my favourite reviews we've had. It's Star Wars Racer Revenge.
Yep.
If you got the PS Now, PS4, go.
If you got PS Now, it's on there. If you have PS4, you can, I believe.
If you've got a PS2, you can play it as
If
well.
you've got PS2, you can play it. If you've got PS4, you can buy it on the store.
So there you go. And that is Star Wars Racer's Revenge, and that puts a cap on this episode and another issue of our Star Wars themed month, May the 4th, Star Wars month. So it's a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.